Hi guys, last video, for the guys that didn't see it, we got the little plug installed for the jumper cables, which do reach the welder. So in this video, we're not gonna get any welding done just yet, unless for some reason this video drags out, but we have this whole giant piece right here, and we're waiting on some welders to come in. But we're gonna be making, or I should say not making, but like, we are making it, we're just not assembling it. We are gonna get the mount together to kind of rise this up above the tank here a little bit. So I pulled this out and we're gonna start mocking up everything. Gonna try and see how close we wanna get to that. And then we're gonna miter each one of the ends so that we can weld it all. But this is some thick stuff, so this should be pretty good. He's gonna bring more of it. My thing was, if we can support it on the tank corners with the wood, it would be all right. But I need to find a way to make it solid so that the welder's not gonna slide back and forth left and right. And we can't put it behind the tank because of the gooseneck. We will be using the gooseneck a lot. I'm gonna try to get this bed situation all settled. We're gonna use back here for tools and on the other side for tools as well. So Bertha's going back into action as a service rig. I wanna be like half and half, kind of fun, kind of make money, all over the place. You guys get it. So I'm gonna start cutting and measuring, and I'll show you guys where we leave off. All right, so it ain't pretty, but this is kind of the setup we got. We got a strap pulling down. We have these straps pulling in to these guys here so that we don't have to use those, and I can leave this on. So what we're gonna do, the main thing I wanted to focus on was how much of this is gonna have like an overhang, because there's vents there. So I'm not sure how much outward I want to leave it. And then back here, we're going to have a battery. So I got to figure all that out as well. So I'm going to get those moved out of there because we got to test fit the battery. So we have two options here, right? We can take this the whole way over to the other edge and then make like a base plate down there. Or we can make a whole frame around it. I'm trying to decide on what the best decision would be. I wanted to make a whole frame around first, but now the more I think about it, the more I'm like, man, if we just made this long enough to the bed and then made some support brackets down there, it would bolt into this, it would hover over top of that, it would be supported by the bed. It might make more sense to do it that way, honestly, rather than making the frame and then, yeah, I feel like that would be a lot less work and it'll look a lot cleaner. All right, so here's how we got, right? So we have 120-ish inches, a little over that. So if we cut it in half, it would put the piece right about here on both sides. It's 71 from inside to inside. I'm thinking we have enough of these, so these can support temporarily until we get the whole setup done. But eventually what we can do is we can put a steel plate down there, and then, you know, we can fill tools in, we can make like a little box right there, which I think will work perfectly. So I'm gonna cut these two into 60-inch sections, and I'll show you what we got, because then we can bolt it both sides. I'll get the hole drilled and I'll show you what we got. All right, we have the pieces cut. I only had to make one cut because it was 120 and whatever this little bit is. So we're gonna put the longer section in the back, and there is gonna be a reason for that. One, little on the lazy side, don't feel like dealing with it, but at the same time, it's gonna be that little bit extra in the back. So I'm gonna get this little bit trimmed with this guy here, clean off the edges. I got this side done. I gotta get this side yet. And then I'm gonna measure the holes and center them up on here now that they're together like this. So I'm gonna measure all four, make sure that they are even front to back, side to side, and then we'll start drilling our holes, and then we can mount that as is. Then we start with the fun part. I need to get some square tubing that'll come down and support on the side, and then I have these plates from back when we were doing the 12-out swap. I have two of these left. We're not going to use these, but I'm going to go get some more that we can put on the like kind of like that up there so it supports it. So this will just be like a temporary mock-up. All right, so we figured out the length. Right there's a mark, and right there is a mark as well. So we got that. We're gonna drill that. We'll take some measurements on the other side, make sure it's exactly the same. Bolt it up to that one. and we'll go from there. But it's gonna be a big hole. Just need to find the right nut and bolt. All right, so as much as I would love to take this one and move the measurements over to this one with the holes, the problem is it's hard to get the correct how far in they are, being that this is angle iron. So I'm gonna get this bolted up. I got some nice bell bolts, nice thick beefy fuckers. I'm gonna clean them off, throw that up in there. I mean, we're pretty close. I will take this measurement at least, so it makes my life a little easier before I go and bolt it up. But what I've been doing, I've been taking these guys here and this, holding these together so I know that it's perfect. I'm gonna have to hammer that a little bit more this way. All right, so we transferred that mark over to here, 7 3/4, 7 3/4 this way. So at least when I go to throw it on there, I'll know I don't have to find these measurements again. That was kind of a pain in the ass, but I'm gonna go get the first section bolted up, and then we work on making the second section. We'll figure out what metal we need to make the third section, which will be the down section. And I will cross member this eventually, but I don't have the metal to do it right now. All right, there you go. Nice heavy duty bolts. Those are for a bell housing. So now we got to do the other side, which is not going to be fun because I don't know how I'm going to flip this thing over. So we got those marked. Those lines really helped because right here, and then I got the other one. I have these really, really loose. I'll show you guys. They're really loose, so I was able to just smack them over. Now, the cool thing about this whole thing is this is going to be a bolt-in setup. Now, I know I've run this aux tank for years now, so I know it's a permanent thing to my setup. So the cool thing about this is we're going to make the legs and then have the supports go into the bed, and we'll have it, how do you say, we'll have it double enforced. So a plate on top, plate on bottom, sandwich it all together so that we know that this will be a solid setup. So if I ever want to take this out, I can. Now we'll take this one off. That is a pain in the ass with only one person, but you know, is what it is. You got to make do with what you got. One of those extra projects on a Saturday. All right, we got both front and back mounted, perfectly level. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna grab a bunch of these guys here, try to get them stacked up in there, just something to support it. So this is pretty exaggeratory, but you know, I'm gonna leave it like that until I get back. This just enough to keep the weight off of this. We'll probably come back to this on Monday and see what we got, but we need to get some square tubing. We need to get a support beam here and on the other side, and then we also need to get some flat stock that'll just like some flat steel to go on the bottom, and then this will look good. And then we can turn that into little toolboxes on the side too, because I mean that'll be pretty sweet. So what I'm thinking, flat box here, and then we'll build like a cage around it and be able to put some tools and shit back there. Keeps things out of the bed, keeps everything organized. We still have the fuel tank. So I told you guys I stopped doing these. It's 8:20 in the morning. I just left the shop. It is Sunday, and we are headed to a mobile job out near Pittsburgh area, somewhere like that. So it's a good it was like 2 hours and 45 minutes from the house. So that's what we're doing today. I don't think I'm going to film anything today, but I would like to at least document it to let you guys know that I am not set up yet to do any service, like service calls and shit like this. Not until Bertha's done, but right now Bertha is not done. I know the GPS says to go that way. I'm going to get on the highway because it's just easier, because fuck the GPS. But I got to take the turnpike down. Alright, we're back Monday. I completely forgot when I was here. I need to go through and measure this distance from the ground on all four corners. So we've made an executive decision. You guys remember where the box was cut there. So what we're going to end up doing, not many of you guys are going to like it, but I feel like this was a really good setup, and I feel like we can grow on it. So you guys see how deep this box is, and then it has lip supports under here. So what we're going to do is we are going to cut the entire bed back here out and drop that box and recess it down into the frame back here, right? And then in the middle, between the frame rails, we're gonna build a deeper box that comes down probably about to the hitch. So that's what we're gonna do. I got my cutoff wheel and everything ready. For those wondering why, you know, cutting up a perfectly good bed, just remember, this bed is not perfectly good. It wiggles, all that shit. So all of that, from basically that line there and that line there, this whole floor is gonna get cut out. And will I regret it? Hopefully not. But the box was a really good setup for mobile. It's only gonna get better. And then eventually, potentially, we will fifth wheel tailgate, because that would let me get in here closer. We've got a semi out there, but that would let me get closer in there, and it's a really good setup. So I'm gonna drop that that down, get some measurements, and I don't know if I want to weld. We're gonna put square tubing here. I don't know if we're gonna do it on the outside and flush up here, or if we're just going to set it on top and then weld it that way. Not sure yet, but we will figure that out. All right, so here's where we're at. I have it like centered as much as I can. Put some legs here. I'll probably put 2 legs right here on the front side, and then we'll probably do like a leg on the back here and then one underneath. So I'm gonna get those measured out, and then I'm gonna send him the measurements. We're gonna go with 7 wide by 20.5 long, and that'll get us the basis of the box. I'm not going to go way too far into there. We probably could, but again, I want to make this easy to remove. I'll send him another message, but worst case scenario, I don't want to get into that drain back there either. So we're pretty much going to do 20.5-inch box. So it should go to like right about there is where the box will end, which will be perfectly fine. I'll be able to reach all my tools. All right, now that I've sent all the measurements out to my guy, he's gonna work on getting me that stuff. So we're gonna be able to get this crane out of here, and then we can start taking measurements back here. So we're gonna have 2 little boxes back here. This will be like the main mechanic stuff, and then up here, we'll try to keep welding supplies and whatnot. I probably will eventually like pull something off of these steel tubes to hold like wire, rod, and all that other shit. But in the meantime, that's what we got. If anything, we could even, over on this side, I think what we could also do is like keep the leads attached and then just route them up in the box. But we got like really, really long 50 or 100. So I don't know if I explained this too. You guys remember those big 48-foot kitchens that I used to haul as well? I do still kind of do some work for them, and with having the DOT number and all that. The other goal of this was to be able to, I will also need steel to go across here, but like I said, that'll be for the box later on. So the goal is to be able to have like a crane or something. We can come in, if I ever need to haul one of them, this can just get picked up and moved out, and then the box can stay. I just want to make it as super easy as possible. If we can get one of them cranes that like goes up and over, basically drive in, pick it up, move, drop it down, out of the way, I can go haul what I need to, and then we can throw it back in. I want this to be as pain-free and simple as possible. So this is where the box was before. You guys will see. I'm gonna try to make sure it stays even, so we're right there. Folded back down those guys, you can see where it would sit. So it was a great setup. It worked awesome, it was practical, but you guys see how, there's the gooseneck ball, that little fucker. And then it was such a pain in the ass. If you were on a hill, I'd have to lift the gooseneck like way up here to drop it down on. So if we can recess this, and if I have to cut this box down too, not a big deal, you know? If I have to redo the whole floor, but this just gives us a good baseline. It fits in here really nicely, fits between the seams. I actually at one point ran it all the way up here, but that was kind of shitty. So I also apologize for the lighting, like the video quality with the lighting coming in and this and that, it's kind of ass. We will be working on that, but just deal with it for now. Appreciate it. Exactly where I want it. Might be able to line up the holes from before. And then we're gonna start making our cut. And then what we're gonna do is this floor here is going to end up being the floor for the box on the sides, and then we'll cut out the middle. You can see there's a nice lip there. Basically, that'll allow me to recess the whole thing in, and we'll be able to build a nice little box right in between the frame rails. All right, so I got all the holes, they lined up. I didn't do like the outsides and whatnot, but like I got the outermost holes all lined up. You can see right there. So we're gonna take a trace line, do this whole thing, probably get this all vacuumed out, and then start working on making our cut. All right, so that I tightened the bolts back up, and it gave it back a lot of structural integrity right there. All right, we got the thing cut the whole way around. Obviously, there's gonna be some spot welds on the bottom, so we gotta figure out all of that. Trying to break it free right here. There's a spot right there. So, trying to deal with that. Make sure every piece is able to be lifted up. I know we're gonna have to do some underside trimming. This is not just a small, easy project like I would want it to be. It's gonna be some fun to this. All right, so obviously this is extremely experimental and we're trying to figure this out. I'm going underneath, and I'll just take you guys under here. So, one way or another, we're gonna make something work, right? But this cross member here attaches to the inside of the bed there. So like where we're trying to pick up, you guys will see right here. We might not be able to put that specific box in. You guys will see as I'm picking it up, this whole thing is still attached. And so I think this section will have to stay. We might end up having to just make a box that fits in this first cut spot. That might be our only bet. This bed is actually in really bad shape. So I don't regret doing this. I'm gonna go under here and I'm gonna show you just how bad this bed is. Like if you look at the cross members and shit, like looking up there, there's a crack. The frame's perfect, but this bed is just awful. So like it's good up there, but everything back here is just like, this bed is in piss poor condition. All right, here's where we're at. I'm trying to pull this piece up, but you can see it's connected to the that cross member down there. Unfortunately, yeah, you can see how rotted that cross member is. So it's pretty fucked. I'm still gonna try to get this piece off, and we'll probably just end up building a box here. I wanted to use this, but it's gonna be way too big. Let's just be real here. I'm gonna do what I can with what I can, but this is pretty much where we're at with this project right now. So I'm gonna keep giving it a little bit of how you doings, and then I keep vacuuming up all the shavings and whatnot, but trying to get this thing together as soon as possible. So he's supposed to be bringing me supplies, if not today, sometime this week. Which then means we also need to get the welder, which for a project like that, I think we can deal with 110. I think that'll be all right. Y'all ever hear the expression, measure once, cut twice? Measure twice, cut once, whatever. How about measure it, look at it a bunch, and then just start cutting shit, right? So here's where we're at, all right? Let's give me a good understanding of the frame. So, it didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but what we're gonna do, once we get the welders in, we're gonna re-weld all of this, clean all this up, clean any of the excess cuts, and then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna pound all this down, give this a nice little fat beat, and then we're gonna turn this into the box. So this will be the box instead of that. It sucks because I really liked that, but like I think this will work out even better, because I can build a nice little low profile box in here, put all my like deep stuff right here and some stuff here, and it'll come out a lot better, especially with having welders in the shop. This is gonna be a really good service rig for what it is. So also makes it easier for me to take off the hitch, because this bumper is getting sold. Like I said, this bumper's for sale if anybody wants it. But I need to get a roll pan. So once this bumper sells, 150 bucks for a good clean bumper. If you want the hitch with it, you know, 250. Take hitch. Well, I'd say probably 300 for the hitch and the bumper. But if you just need the bumper, 150 bucks. Because then I'm gonna go get a new hitch and a roll pan. And it is windy as shit out there. Look, it just slammed my door. And I had a thing in front of it. That's bullshit. So I'm gonna get to pounding this down, getting this nice and a little bit organized, and then that's pretty much where we're at. So unfortunately, I did have to cut the cross member, by the way. So that piece there, I just cut down the center so I could fold it up like that. And I was able to just cut that cross member out. Look how fucking rotted that thing is. So this bed, kind of trash, but it is what it is. Somehow did not hit any of the wiring underneath of there. You know, it's crazy that this is sturdier now with this whole piece cut out than it was without it. But I did end up tightening this, so that helped out. We're gonna put a big seam weld here, and then I'm gonna fix the weld that was here as well. But she's solid. That's pretty much gonna do it for the video. It did not go the way that I had planned, but still you guys get to see in the works of what we're kind of doing. And keep in mind, this, what we build here, I'm not going to be able to get rid of unless I get rid of the bed and I put a new bed on it. But you guys see how shit this bed is, so it's like, I doubt any of you guys are gonna care after you see this. But if you do, feel free to complain in the comments, let me know how you feel. But Service Rig 2.0 is, like I said, I want this done by the end of the month. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys need anything, cpstevemiller.com, feel free. Send anything. We will be doing welding here soon. I have a guy coming in for all that. We are going to be getting 220 in the building eventually. But in the meantime, if you guys need any welding work done, let me know, and we can start accommodating that. I have a bunch of welders coming this week. Bunch of welders and one weld guy. Okay, that makes it easier because welders, whatever. So appreciate you guys sticking around. See you in the next video. Later.